Today's episode is going to be real and honest. I'm going to talk about how burnout brought down $2 million companies. So let's get into it. Welcome to today's episode, PelviBiz Podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Alhui. Burnout. Let it dive into it because people in the healthcare space, it is very prevalent. And I want to give my own journey and my own lesson through all this, that I didn't even realize I was going through burnout through this process. So when I lived in Virginia, I worked at an outpatient orthopedic place I absolutely hate. The notes were more important than the patients, and I couldn't take time off. My health was completely going down the drain, and I said, okay, I'm going to stand on a trailhead and let me see if I can get people, because I'm going to quit my job. So I quit my job because I absolutely hated what I was doing, and that was my third time of being burnt out, and I thought, wow, I just am not cut out for this. Even if I have all the energy in the world, I'm not cut out for this. Something might be different about me compared to my coworkers because I couldn't keep up. I could not keep up with what everyone was doing, the notes and managing 2 patients an hour. I just couldn't do it. I knew I wasn't giving my best work, and that bugged the freaking crap out of me. And I know most of you guys listening to this, you just want to freaking give your best work. I'm the same way. If I'm not at 100%, then it's not me. It's not how I show up. I have very high standards and I want to uphold them. Well, here's the deal. I say all this, but here's the deal. What happened? So for 3 years, I really excelled. I built orthopelvic to over $1 million business, and I had it all. I had an amazing manager that managed everything. I could take time off. I could go to California. And when I realized I was doing that and taking time to come to California, I was running away. I was running freaking away from my freaking clinic. And in the process of that, when I even hired my manager on, she was with me for 3 years until she went out on maternity leave. She was a school teacher. And basically what happened was I started coaching her, and I could see that she's really passionate about pregnancy and postpartum. And I was like, I see something in her. I know that she's meant for more than just being a teacher. No offense, my mom was a teacher, but I just knew she was just meant for so much more because I could tell her passion. She had it. She had the grit. And I think that's my superpower. I can see in other people what they don't see in themselves. And I was like, hey, is that okay if I basically coach you to quit your teaching job and come hang out with me at orthopelvic? She was like, yeah, I'm all in, Kelly. I'm all in on this mission. I'm all in. And for 3 years, we built something amazing together. We really did. And it was amazing. And there was times where I was here in California for a month, 2 months, just hanging out, and my clinic was growing. And because I had an amazing leader in the clinic. But here's the thing that I didn't really realize at the time, and now I do looking back. Every year that went by, I started to become more and more burnt out. I didn't know it at the time. I started to become resentful of the people. I started to become resentful of my entire staff. And you guys have to remember at this time, I was also building PelviBiz. And yes, I had an amazing manager, but I was doing both companies, pretty much. I built both companies by myself. My husband's not involved in it. I don't have a business partner. It's just me. And I built 2 7-figure businesses at the same time, growing at rapid rates. And I honestly thought I was on top of the world. I thought I was untouchable. And I was at the time. I was on fire. But here's the thing. I started to say, I just wish all this would go away. And I'm just being honest. I wish all of it would go away. It started to become too much. I, had employees that I had to handle. I had students that I had to, keep helping. And I felt like I was carrying every single person on my freaking back. And it was a lot. It was a lot. It was every ounce of my energy and effort went to both companies. I did nothing else. I would wake up. I would sleep-ish I would sleep, I'd wake up, my husband would have my food ready to go, I'd grab it, and I'd either walk out the door or I'd immediately start working at like 6 a.m. And I didn't stop until 10 o'clock. And I did this for 7 years straight. It's the level of what it takes. But at the same time, I didn't know that I was building something that I became really resentful of on both ends. I felt like I was pouring into my students and that I would really be pushing them and pushing them and pushing them. And that like I cared about their businesses more than they did. I'm just being honest. And I did. But that led to me being resentful because I'm like, I'm giving you my arm, my heart, whatever. But here's the other thing that happened. I actually wasn't giving them my arm, my heart, my leg, whatever, which I thought I was. I was giving them the most shitty version of myself I possibly could. And by the way, I have taken many businesses from 0 to 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, even 100K months. Many of them from nothing in 3 years. Okay? And I did that all by not stepping into the true version that I was meant to be and who I knew I was going to be. Like I could feel inside of me when I was 3 years into orthopelvic that there was more. It's when I was coaching my manager, even 1 year in, which is why I started PelviBiz. Even 1 year in, I knew I was meant for more than just building a practice. I knew it. Like I could feel it. And that feeling was like, no, go do something bigger than that. And I did it. And ultimately what ended up happening is I just became so tired of everyone because I wasn't giving to myself. It was a me problem. It wasn't anyone's problem. And if you really dive into it, if I'm not giving anything to myself, how the heck can I give to 20 people of my companies over here, and then my mastermind students, and then my other students, and then, how the heck could I do that when I'm not even giving to myself because I don't even have time for myself? And I didn't honestly realize this, guys, until I stepped away from my brick and mortar. I did not realize it until now. I can look back and say, I truly built orthopelvic purely on fight or flight to get back to California. And I'm just being honest. And as I reflect in these months following and keep reflecting and keep diving in and like really keep doing the work to figure out when I said, I just wish everyone would go away. Well, guess what? Everyone went away. And they had all the right to freaking go away. They had all the right. Because I didn't show up for them anymore. I stopped growing. I stopped learning. I stopped taking care of myself. I became bitter because people hurt me. And that's just the truth. I didn't know how to move past that and get over it. Whether or not they were talking shit about you or whether or not they were taking things from you, you felt like, but the reality was, it wasn't on them. It was on me for showing up a horrible version of myself, for showing up in a way that wasn't me. And I knew it, but I couldn't do anything about it. I could not do in the moment. Every single day, there was like 20 big, I'm not talking about little, big problems that happen, like massive problems. I can't go into detail, but like massive, massive problems. And it was just like the punches just kept coming and coming and coming. And like, I remember I had a therapist on board, like a psychologist at the board. And she was like, Kelly, I don't know how you're surviving. And I was like, I don't know either. I said, just every day I wake up and I'm just like, I'm going to do it again. I kept singing the song like unstoppable, 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 unstoppable. And like, that's what got me through. Like, I just kept being like, I'm unstoppable. In the shower, I'd come home, like literally just brainwash myself to where I was unstoppable, which kept me going and going and going. But like, the reality is I wasn't listening to my intuition. And the number one thing, us as women, especially, that we have something called an intuition. And it is guiding you on what to do next. My face was also another good point of it. Like, my face was getting worse and worse. That should have been a red flag that it's literally trying to tell you, stop, stop, stop. But I was like, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep going. I got people to support. And by the way, like, orthopelvic gave me an insane life I never even freaking dreamed of. Like, I'm so thankful for orthopelvic. I'm just so thankful. But at the same time, the way I was doing it was not the way I recommend doing it. And I've learned. And the way I was basically showing up as a leader is not the way I would ever tell someone to show up. It wasn't my true authentic self, which I knew deep down inside. It was like I don't even know. It was not myself. I would show up and walk into my clinic and like try to fake like, hey, how's everything going? I'm good. And then my team could see right through that. They could be like, yep, Kelly's stressed today. Yeah, I am stressed today because I got 20,000 things on my list to do. You know? And you can't show up that way. And I probably could have handled that stress better if I was actually taking care of myself and actually gave myself a second to freaking breathe. So I'm saying all this is the number one thing every single person listening to this has to do is you must continue to invest in yourself. This is a very powerful statement. You must chase the woman, not the money. Let me repeat that. You must chase the woman, not the money. What I mean by that is you must chase the person that you are becoming, the person that you know deep down, that you feel in your gut that you want to be. You must chase that person. Not what brings in the revenue, not what's the new hack that this AI thing is going to give me. You must completely change as a person. If you say what you say you want, which is success, which you can define it in many different ways, whether or not that's with your spouse, you also must have a great relationship with your spouse. If that is off, it is going to throw you completely off. I'm not kidding, okay? You also must have a great relationship with friends or family. If that is off, you cannot achieve your highest success. You must have a great relationship with yourself. If that is off, you are not going to achieve success. I promise you. You will do exactly what I did. You will build something amazing, think you got to the top, and then immediately you self-sabotage and burn the whole thing down. It happened. Because you don't have the energy to keep up. And when you don't have the energy, you can't lead anyone. And when you don't become a leader, no one's following you. And everyone will walk away because no one wants to be with someone that is just showing up. They don't. They want to be with someone that's freaking on fire and leading them and making them feel that they can do whatever they set their freaking mind to. That's what they want. They want someone to show them the path because most people don't have anyone to show them the path. And that's why in PelviBiz 2025, we are on fire. We have completely changed and we have changed who we are, our mission, our culture. We don't just say the word culture. We really live culture. In my brick and mortar, I used to literally say like, we had the 10 fundamentals. The 10 fundamentals didn't mean shit. I even came into the office one day and someone took the 10 fundamentals down. And I'm like, wow, they think this is a joke. And the reality is, it was a freaking joke. It was a joke. Because I wasn't living by it. So how do I expect anyone that is on my team to live by that? If the leader is not leading, how can anyone lead by that? It doesn't happen. And so my point to this is I need you guys to step up. If you say you want a freaking amazing life, you have to have it freaking all. You got to put yourself together. You got to put your family together. You got to keep your family together. You have to have an amazing marriage. You have to be freaking amazing. You have to have energy for every single thing that comes your way. Because if you want big dreams, you will have big problems. You will. But are you ready for it? Are you freaking ready for it? For me, I wasn't ready for the big spotlight yet, even though I thought I was. And it told me quickly what I was made of and what I wasn't made of. And it's taught me so many lessons, which is why I believe I really am an amazing coach, because I've been through a lot of lessons, a lot. And not only have I had success financially, but now I've realized I've had so many other things come in, whether or not it's with employees or building teams or building systems, which we have, or building an online practice or building a brick and mortar practice. I've done both. I've done it all, I feel like, in the healthcare space. I've done it all. And I've had a lot of problems. And I can teach you and get you to learn from those things. Because I don't want you to have to go through all the freaking pain and suffering. I mean, it was atrocious, atrocious. But I also want to give you hope that you can get out on the other side and you can change and you can become a different person. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of freaking work. And it's not just like one day I said I'm going to change and all of a sudden I just change. It doesn't work like that. Every single day you got to work at it. Every single day you got to commit to being the freaking student. You got to commit to being your best freaking student. Like, that's it. Like, you've got to take control. And when you freaking take control, you're unstoppable. And that's what I want for every single one of you guys. So if you guys want to become unstoppable, honestly, text me. Text me at 703-783-2358 so that we can chat about what changes need to be made, where you're at. You might be stuck. You may not be. You might say, Kelly, I don't know if I'm leading my team or not well. Well, guess what? Let's have a chat about it, because you may not know because you're in it. And it may help someone that's outside of it to look in from a wider angle and say, yeah, this is what the direction we need to go. So hopefully you guys enjoy this episode, and we'll talk later. Bye, guys.